Day one of the 2022 United States National Snooker Championship. Glad you're all tuning in. It's David Burney in the booth. We got a great one coming up here. Round robin match with John Poon against CC Yoo. Thanks for all you tuning in on the stream. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Search out Ox. Wherever you're tuning in for, feel free to give us a shout out. Let us know where you're tuning in from. You have any comments or questions. We have our good friend David Brock on the stream, another great DB. There seems to be a lot of them in this great game of snooker. And John comes up with an impressive long pot to get things going. CC is the defending Seattle Open champion and runner-up in the BC Open champion, so to lean maybe towards CC here in this match. Don't know a lot about John Poon, but definitely being a Canadian and American soil, I'm finding out a lot about these players as both Mike Dominguez and I, who was in the booth, we found out a lot about Jackie Wee, who took his match over defending champion Ahmad Ali Al-Sayed. So, and they're just working out the scoreboard a little bit, as most players are used to the old wooden sliding score system. But as the world evolves, so does technology. So, it takes a little bit of getting used to. And game on.
This is going to ruin CC's average shot time.
Yeah, CC definitely a very a swift player. He doesn't play careless shots, but he knows what to play, and he gets down and goes to it.
Yeah, it is not an exaggeration to say that Ox wouldn't be here without the help of CC. So it's kind of a strange situation here. It's kind of surreal. He's on the stream, playing in the Nationals in my club. When back in 2017 we first met. I didn't know what the hell snooker was. Just wanted to learn, and he was there to help me along the way. So, close friend.
But remember, there's no bias in the commentating booth.
No.
But there is on the stream. Feel free to push your support for either player. The nice rest shot there by CC to be very nice on the black. Being in his home state, you gotta favor CC a little bit. He might be hoisting that Tom Collins trophy come Monday night.
Yeah, Empire Billiards is a sponsor. They donated money to this cause. So he is the owner of Empire. For those of you that don't know, it's a snooker club, billiards club in Redmond, just across the lake. It's an unlikely miss there.
Just a little funny bridging. Thanks, USSA. CC is the number 3 seeded player in America. He was a runner-up back in 2019. Obviously, in 2020, things happened, and snooker went down by the wayside, definitely in North America. I was really fortunate that the team over in the UK really battled against adversity, and as much as there was no crowds, they still were able to bring live professional snooker, and I think that's how a lot of people got back into the game, because it was one of the few sports that was still live and being able to view. Oh, the USSA is correcting me. CC's the 4th seeded player. I feel I was baited into a trap there almost. Interesting. Yeah, if you watch CC, obviously some of our camera shots you won't be seeing a lot of the player, but there's a great shot now. Just watch CC. Only his back arm is swinging. The only movement there. Oh, he misses there, but he's very still on the shot. Just that back arm, the only one that should be moving. And the whole body when you're down on a shot. So great form that CC has, and it shows. He's a well-accomplished player over here on the American scene.
Yeah, CC and I were talking yesterday about Nick Barrow visiting the Seattle area. He'll be at Empire October 9th, and CC was just flat out told me, I don't know what I don't know. And I need somebody to just diagnose my troubled areas, and Nick is the man to do it.
Well, yes, Nick Barrow's coming up to Vancouver, and chatting with him, I told him, I hope you have a couple of years, because there's a lot of things with my game that need to be oiled out. Yeah, if you live in the Vancouver or Seattle area, and I think also as well Toronto, Canada, and New York, Nick Barrow, world-renowned snooker coach, is going to be coming over here, providing coaching sessions for anyone that's interested. Check him out on his website, www.thesnookergym.com, and get yourself enlisted. Should be some great fun. He's done some wonderful work with Ding Junhui, actually. And Ding is a world-class player, so Nick, who does love the game, I think he might have played a little bit professionally. David Brock, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but at one point just felt like, when you play professional, you got to give it 100%. If you have that little 99%, you might as well just pack the bags and do something different. You have to be 100% in. And so he found out that he just wasn't all in playing, but didn't hang up his cue and wanted to provide knowledge to all that are wanting to get into this game and improve their skills. Alidair21 asks about entry fees and prizes and stuff like that. Well, we'll get our team to do some research. So hopefully I can find something out for you as the tournament progresses. So stand by for that, but feel free to tune in all weekend long, and I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get that information to you at some point.
David Brock is in the chat. I'd like to hear your views on CC. You met him here in the Seattle Open and saw him not drop a frame during that tournament. But coming from the UK and watching CC play in person, any insights about his game? Let us know in the chat.
Well, as a fellow DB, all I'd have to say is impressive. CC is definitely a player that knows his way around the table. Don't know really actually his history of how he got into the game. It'd be interesting to chat with him. Sometimes with these tournaments, we just are thrown into it and we don't get a lot of time to just socialize with the players, as we want to bring you the great streaming action and provide wonderful commentary to you. So I think as we progress more and more in the sport, we'll get more time. The luckiest player in Seattle. That's what David says about CC. Oh.
Luck counts.
You do need sometimes a little bit of luck in this game, that's for sure. But I think if you're knocking on the door, eventually it's going to open.
I think Evan Reyes is credited as saying, the more I practice, the luckier I get. Or maybe it was Jesus. I don't know who said that.
Was Jesus lucky? Let's just keep the religious business out of snooker right now. Let's just... I don't know if Jesus was a cuist. I think he was a carpenter and a motivator of people. He knew how to captivate a crowd, I think.
Yeah. David Brock says, lovely guy and a good solid player about CC.
He mentions Gary Player, you think? Gary Player, the South African golfer, David? It is possibly late in the UK, so that autocorrect might be working overdrive.
Nice.
Yeah, Chuck is mentioning the snooker gods. Yep, sometimes those snooker gods are on your side. Sometimes they're against you. There's a great, actually, BBC series, 3-part series called The Gods of Snooker. For all you snooker fanatics, it's definitely worth a watch because you have a good, rich history of the game. And just wanted to pause on that, Blue, give CC the respect there. But yeah, the Gods of Snooker did a lot of the telling was of the boom that snooker had in the 80s. It just was the sport in the UK. Took over football, aka soccer, which is amazing.
I tend to mumble. You must be Cliff because you're from Canada.
Oh yes, Cliff and I do share that one thing. We both have mustaches, but unfortunately it's not Cliff Thorburn. It's David Burney in the booth. Nice shot there. That was tricky coming off the cushion, and especially with that amount of pace. But it's all right, Woogie Man. Next time I see Cliff, I'll let him know I've been mistaken for you. But then he might flash his World Championship ring, and then I'll be deflated.
David Brock mentions Jay Ma, another player with a great potential and an absolute gentleman to play. Yeah, Jay is one of those really nice guys and very talented.
It's nice in snooker, nice guys don't finish last.
No. Not unless they're terrible at the table.
So you've got my MO down, I guess.
Came up a little short for that green, but it's probably all right. Opted for the yellow.
Players now have all the tricks in their cue case. They got the mini butt, telescopic extension, as you can see. CC is using here, not at full extension, but just got to be mindful of that black. Doesn't want to put any fabric of his shirt on it, or that would be a 7-point foul. I guess Roogie Man, I've never had the Cliff Thorburn impersonation in my arsenal, but maybe I should start doing it. But definitely over in the UK, Mr. Thorburn is definitely treated nicely, that's for sure. When I was over there in Sheffield, I was amazed by seeing some 8 and 9-year-old boys who love playing the game of snooker were just amazed that Cliff Thorburn was walking by them. So it's just really a nice sight to see.
He's a very humble guy, very nice. Cliff is. During the COVID closures over at Bays, we would have Zoom calls or team calls or meet calls, whatever. We'd have virtual meetings, and he would talk to some of our club members, encouraging them to continue the game, giving them a few tips, and they were all just enthralled to meet him, even if it was virtual. Says a lot about the guy.
Great shot there by CC. Yeah, Cliff's stand-up guy. Nice to know him. He flattered me completely. I was at the Top 147 club, and I knew he was in town, so I might pop by, say hello or something like that, because I had met him before. And, came in the room, saw that he was coaching, so I kind of did my own business, and then all of a sudden, David! I see Cliff coming towards me and giving me a shake on the hand, so definitely a stand-up chap.
Yeah, it's cool. A legend knows your name.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chuck, I don't know if I have Graham Dott in the wheelhouse. I'll have to, work on that, Scotsman. Maybe we can someday get Graham over here to do some commentary, and Dominic Dale. Dominic Dale, very passionate about the Q Sports. Haven't had a chance to meet him, but hearing about him, he's just so well versed in knowledge about this game. So,
I'd love to have Ken Doherty come over here and commentate, do an exhibition.
The darling of Dublin. He does want to make it out to the West Coast. A few years ago, I was just reading a snooker article with him, and he was saying places I'd like to travel are Australia and Vancouver. So I reached out to him on the Twitter, and we've actually got to know each other through that, and we share a passion for great socks.
Yeah, there are two kinds of people in this world. There are sock people, and there are people who just don't care about socks. You are a sock person, and you're a bow tie person too. But I know a few sock people, and it's just their thing. They have the craziest socks.
A person is not defined by their actions, but by the socks they wear.
Yes. Jamie is a sock person. We were in Scotland, and she bought a pair of socks with bottles of scotch on them, and they said, "Scotch on the socks."
All right.
She loves her socks and her scotch.
Chuck, that's a nice little impression of Ken over there. We're in front tree, and that's the score 30-30. Got to get going. It's You have to get Dave Daly into the booth. He's got a nice Irish twang, so we'll just see what can happen there.
Oh, nice pot there. Setting up for a little break.
Yeah, John could
do some damage, right?
Definitely could get him right back in the game. No, Aladair 21. I hope I'm pronouncing your handle correctly. There's no problem with questions. We're here to answer them. They're using number 10 Strachan cloth. And they're playing on star tables. Really top notch. You know, they've got the heater underneath. Played a little bit on these tables, and it's very interesting because you think your ball's going to stop and it rolls another 5 inches.
Just like it did there. I don't think you wanted the cue ball so high. Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, it takes some time to get used to these tables. They're unlike any other table. And so John is at a slight disadvantage there with CC being a local, playing in leagues here and playing in tournaments here. That's the benefit of having the nationals in your hometown.
Yeah, you can play on the tables where the tournament's going to be. And it is interesting. When I was amazed up in Sheffield at the last year's World Championships, Sam Lee, who is on the stream, chiming in about some comments. He and I traveled over there together, and we came across a snooker club called Spot On Snooker Club. And I tell you, playing on those tables, the cloth felt like a shag carpet. It wasn't gliding like these ice rinks that you have here, Mike. So it's interesting when they have the difference between the club tables and then academies as well. Like I got a chance to pop into the Ding Academy in Sheffield, and yeah, that's a top-notch facility right there. They have about 20 tables like the ones you're seeing on the screen right now, and really committed to, people are serious about it. They're coming in and wanting to play, where some of these snooker clubs are more of a social environment where men and women and children can kind of go after the work day and just relax and play a good game of snooker with a friend.
So I missed the result of Dave Daly's match. Do you know?
Unfortunately, Dave was defeated 2-1. If people are wondering out there in the stream, you can also go to cloudsnooker.com to see all the results. You'll see up-to-date scoring on the matches that are in progress. We have 4 tables in the room, so lots of great snooker action. And you'll also be able to see the standings, as this tournament has started off with 8 groups. I believe we have 6 groups of 5 players and 2 groups of 4. And the top 2 in each group will move on to a 16-player knockout round, whittling down to 1 competitor that will be crowned the 2022 United States National Snooker Champion and be able to hoist the Tom Collins Trophy.
Jay, it looks like you took a quick 1-frame advantage down in the second frame.
Aladair 21. Good to hear you play out of the Arizona Snooker Academy. Ramil, he's up there. Good to meet him for the first time. I believe that Arizona Academy is where Mr. Young Keanu Reeves was playing earlier this year. I really enjoyed what you guys were doing down there. Brought him back to his early days as a kid in Toronto, playing a lot of snooker. So,
you know, snooker's a good sport if Keanu is playing it. I love that guy.
Yeah, Point Break, great movie. The original, not that remake. Don't waste your time with that.
I like his Scanner Darkly.
But who can forget Bill and Ted's?
Oh, yeah, of course. Whoa, I don't know if he meant that.
I think there's that. We go back to that luck. So that goes back to now the foul and a miss. Remember we were talking about the foul and miss and the 3 attempts. So obviously, if John was doing that intentionally, that would have been phenomenal and is deserving that 12 points. But I think there was that element of fluke on that shot. So CC's only going to really potentially give up 12 points.
For those on YouTube, open up a new tab, go to YouTube again, and search Kick Safe Shane Van Boning versus Francisco Bustamante. And if you're a snooker lover, you should watch that as well. The object of the game is to snooker your opponent on a 9-foot snooker table, and they do a ton of kick safes. And if we were watching that shot in that match, it would be on purpose, but I'm pretty sure this one was a fluker.
9-foot snooker table?
9-foot pool table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you said snooker.
Sorry.
Good hit there by CC. And that pink blocks the path for the pocket that red into the top right corner pocket. Yeah, my father, who never had a snooker table, but said he would always invest in a snooker table because you can play snooker on a snooker table, you can play 8-ball on a snooker table, you can't play snooker on an 8-ball table. No. It'd be pretty crowded. Now that was an intended snooker there by CC. Great shot there. Green gonna hick him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, tongue twister earlier this morning.
He's gonna have to go left if he wants the one cushion escape.
So, good hit there by John. Could have been a lot costlier for him. But 29 on the table, and there's 35. 35 on the table and 29 in it, so still anybody's frame. Yes, we'd love to have referees, but it's a small family over here in North America. We do know that some players are making the trek over to the UK, whether it be taking coaching or refereeing courses. A few years back in 2018, we did have the great Michaela Tab come over to Vancouver and also Toronto, and she had, I think, about 32 students in total in both cities. learning the ways of a referee and hearing the ins and outs. So
we would love to get her back in here for another course.
Well, don't you want to fire up that private jet of yours, Mike, and maybe she could come back for the final?
Yeah. Got it parked out back. It's all good. Yeah, there's so many people and personalities that we'd love to have here. And the demand is growing on both sides. A lot of players want to come here, and a lot of our customers and members want to see certain players and coaches. It's exciting that just in a year, we were having this demand already. But we can't ignore the refs. They're a critical part of this game, and as well as coaching. We got to develop coaching in America. We have to develop a referee course in America. That was a close shot there. Still a lot of work to do, but I think that we're fully capable of doing it.
Yes, if you look at snookercanada.com, their website, they have been developing programs about table mechanics, which are really important, referees and coaching. So feel free to check them out at snookercanada.com. And you can find out where a coaching or refereeing seminar is going on. Because I'm with the referees being trained, they also do double duty sometimes as markers, which is also important. Markers, aka scorekeepers. And if we want to continue the line of movie references, if you build it, they will come. So we're trying to build it up, and you people tuning in, great to hear you're tuning in. From wherever you are, let us know. This is a global game. I think it's played in almost 130 countries. Like snooker is all over the place, that's for sure.
You hear that, Olympics?
Yeah, I was really disappointed that they didn't get into the Paris Olympics of 2024. It would have been nice, Mike. You and I could have headed over there, maybe done some commentary for the North American sides, the Canadian and the American sides, and enjoyed some of that great French butter and cheese.
And some French fries. Never been to France.
Well, I was in France back in 2005, and that's where I found a love for the French butter. It is out of this world.
Is it better than Irish butter?
Oh,
really?
Night and day. The French butter is just, maybe, Louis Pasteur gave pasteurization to the whole world, but then he kept a little secret formula only for the French to make this wonderful cheese, or butter, I should say.
Where at in Texas? Someone's in Texas? Yeah. My ears are perked up.
Yeah, Chuck Jones talking to Dr. Snooker. The doctor tuned into our stream for the women's event and found out that he was down in Houston. As he's now on my emailing list, he'll know what's going down in British Columbia, Canada for any snooker events. You can reach me there at snookerdave21@gmail.com, but please no spam. Let's just keep it related to snooker, and I can put you on my mailing list and let you know, because we will be having the BC Open in February. Fingers crossed, obviously.
That was an unfortunate bounce off the knuckle for CC, and a fortunate bounce off the knuckle for John. Oh goodness. Maybe he was intending to do the snooker this time, but it looked like he was definitely going for that pot.
Yeah, he was quite off on that pot, actually. I almost think he was playing for the snooker, but it's tough to say because there's 29 on and there's 35 on the table.
Possible 8 points here. Yellow's in a good spot. Green looks iffy.
Nice shot right there. It's tricky with the rest just to stun over for that black. John looked like a seasoned pro there.
Yeah. Unlucky on the angle. Probably wanted the opposite angle going up the table. But let's see what it can do. The yellow is it's a potable ball, but you want to give yourself a chance to get on the green in some fashion. Oh, trying for that safety.
He might have been trying to pot that in the green pocket. I think safety would have been the better shot to play there, probably a better safety. But it's always tough when you're trailing in a frame. It feels like you have to do something positive and get a pot in, where sometimes a great defensive shot can be a great positive.
Yeah, glad you mentioned that. The pro commentators do harp on positivity as being trying to pot the ball. And whenever I hear that, they're like, that was a negative shot because they played safe. I don't know if that's true. You can have a positive, safe play. It's not always about, I'm going to make this and keep going, and that's a positive shot.
Sure, yeah, I just wonder if he's got an angle here. Clip off that green, come 2 cushions behind the black or the pink. Electing toward his green ball by there. Sure, we only have a couple of angles that are from our vantage point in the booth, where CC, who's down on the table, can see all angles. Yes, Woogie Man, these are heated star tables. These are the cream of the crop. Though I do know sometimes they have a few events that the Pro Tour has the Rasson tables.
Yeah, they're definitely making their way on the pro circuit. Heard some good things about the Rassons. I have never played on one. But we do have 8-9 foot Rasson Ox pool tables that play amazing. Love them. They're a very fast table. So they make a quality pool table. I would imagine they make a quality snooker table. Hopefully someday I'll play on one.
Where's this green going? Oh.
Yeah, Woogie Man? My eyes are terrible. Is that how you pronounce that? Woogie Man?
Woogie Man 007, it looks like. Your eyes are terrible. You're playing in an hour.
Yeah.
Have you realized what you've just said, Mike?
I'll be back in the booth in no time.
Where's the betting form for your match? Please sign me up.
They are terrible. I have blind spots all over the place. Like, I have retinal bleeding, so like if my eyes were a camera, I would have spots on my sensor. They're not on the lens. They're not floaties, and they're not cataracts. They are dead spots. It's insane.
Yet still, he has a great passion for this game, plays, and has created this wonderful club Ox Billiards. So, hats off to you, Mike.
So Woogie Man in the chat says, never played on a heated table. One day, I hope. So if I were you, wherever you are, I can't remember, but look for a carom table, because those tables are also heated. It is a trip to play on a heated table. So you just go to a 3-cushion spot.
So Snookers are required now with a 23-point lead for CC. Apology, 30-point lead. Not sure where you're tuning in from, Captain Tsubasa. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your handle correctly, but it's the first time I've met you. We're glad that you are tuning in. Reach out to your, every country, I believe, because maybe not every country, but a lot of countries do have a governing body for the game of snooker. Maybe source some information out on the internet. Great long pot. That should definitely steal the frame. A good tap on the table. Good sportsmanship there by John. But I'll refer to you as the captain. Let us know what country you're tuning into. This is a U.S. National Snooker Championship, so it's only open to U.S. citizens. So CC takes that first frame, 1-0. And we're back here with frame 2 of this first match of Group D between CC Yoo and John Poon. David Burney is in the booth with you. I've been joined by Mike Dominguez, and I'm pretty sure throughout the weekend we'll be joined by many great snooker enthusiasts, players, and pundits alike. Dr. Snooker, there is no bow tie required in the group stage. We've given the option, but it's nice to see that all players are applying to the correct dress code of dress pants, dress shirt, vest. So it really gives a good presentation to the game. And so the bow ties are optional until we get into the latter part of the tournament. Yeah, there are a few places over there, Woogie Man 007, that do have these heated tables, but I heard that it is, the boom was in the 80s where everyone was pretty much picking up a cue, and it's just not as strong as it used to be. But things go in circles, so who knows? We could see, obviously. It's great to see that we have a 38 player field for a U.S. National Snooker Championship. I have to look a little bit more at the history books. I do not know how long this national tournament has been running. I do know coming the spring in 2023 at the Corner Bank in Toronto, that will be the 50-year anniversary of the Canadian National Tournament. We have a few fortunate in-offs from CC in this frame. Has given John an early lead, but multiple reds there available. Well, I'm not sure what the scene's like in Detroit, Chuck. But the previous player, Ali Al-Said, he's out of the New York Athletic Club. So he throws some tournaments there. I think if you look onto the USSSA website, you should be able to find that's a good listing of various snooker competitions going on in the country. Dr. Snooker, thank you for that. That the U.S. National started in 1991 with Mr. Tom Collins winning it. So he's the name of the trophy the players are all shooting for, and his son, Tom Collins, is playing in the tournament, Mr. Junior. And he also hails from the Detroit area, so be a good person to chat up with. Going back to that team philosophy, we got a great membership of the team out there on the stream, providing us with great information and history and tidbits about the game. So I thank you all as trying to give you the great action here. Might not have time to jump onto that great encyclopedia on the computer called the internet.
I want to give a special shout out to WPBSA for giving us access to this great scoreboard. Makes us look legit.
It's good to know that there were a lot of people quickly entering this tournament. So the United States Snooker Association, and they would have liked to have more entries. Just the trouble is, you have 4 tables, which is great, obviously, but these tournaments can run a while. The snooker, it's not carbon copied of how a frame is going to work. It can go scrappy, it can go quick. So it's always a guessing game, and you want to give a healthy amount of time for the tournament to run. But as we all are amateurs here, just loving the game, most of us, I'd say the high percentage of players here and behind the scenes people have another job that they do. They just come out and love the game and want to support it that way. So you can't have a tournament running for a couple of weeks or something like that. That would be maybe pretty costly for people to take time off work. But slowly, as I've always alluded to, the baby steps, we're growing and growing. And hopefully soon enough we'll maybe be able to have clubs, or maybe have the mechanics and the labor to get maybe a 6-table setup in a hockey arena or a basketball arena. I know that they've kind of done that sometimes in the UK, where you've got that nice tiered seating and you can watch about 6 tables in action. All great ideas, and hopefully we can implement them, and we'll just continue to grow.
Yeah, we're definitely thinking ahead. We're trying novel, innovative ideas to grow the sport, keeping up with demand. It's a frustrating thing to have the demand and not be able to satisfy it in terms of continuing to bring better and better events. So we're always looking for opportunities. It begins with money. It begins and ends with money. So sponsorships are important.
So if there's anyone out there that wants to make a charitable contribution, welcome it thoroughly. So John Poon not really phased right now. He's just slow and steady. It's not a Ferrari racing around the table here. He's got a nice little sedan with these little brakes here and there, and then just running and hiding when he needs to.
Yeah, there's a flipped image of the first frame where CC was all of a sudden ahead 30-9, and you're kind of like, how'd that happen? You know, I just looked at the score, and I'm the one scoring, and it's still very surprising, 32-8. Like, how did that happen? Quick little breaks, run and hide. Still a lot of points on the table, but this looks like a pretty good showing by John.
Yeah, I think more and more as we do more of these tournaments, we'll get to know the players a lot more, but we also should encourage them, give us a little a write-up and a picture, because then we can create programs as well for all our audience members in the room, and they can you can find a player what you really like and support them. I remember back in the 80s, I think there was so many great casts of characters that had individual traits and different ways of playing, different dress styles, and all that they kind of built up it's an inadvertent fluke there by John. So yeah, once you get to hear a write-up or get to know the players a little bit more, Becky Ramirez is watching from El Paso, Texas. Now, if she was playing, I'm pretty sure Mike Dominguez, who also hails from El Paso, Texas, would be cheering her on thoroughly.
Yeah, how's it going, Becky? How's the weather in El Paso? My hometown.
I just found out that Jim White actually is living in my hometown. Great Canadian player. Lives in Oakville, Ontario, Canada now. Phil Yates had mentioned that on the Snooker Scene podcast. It's always a great place to find out a lot of great snooker information. A lot of it is predominantly catered towards the pro circuit, but recently they did give a shout out to the World Women's Snooker US Open Championship that was here. And I'm pretty sure as I do some correspondence with them that they will be well aware of the U.S. National Tournament. And as we get into autumn, snooker will be coming more and more as the weather gets a little cooler. And that is correct, Dr. Snooker. Jim White and John White own the Corner Bank in Toronto. That's been the host of the Canadian Championships for many years. Had the chance to be in that room a few years ago, and it is definitely a nice room. But I think as the sport continues to grow, more and more rooms are kind of just opening up a little bit more in Canada, and maybe we'll see a Canadian Championship be somewhere else. But those guys still do a great job over there at the Corner Bank. But you never know. It is a Canadian Championship, but maybe it's rooted in there deep like the Crucible with the World Championship. And you are correct. Yes, the Pan Am Seniors and regular event will be held at the Corner Bank in Toronto. I think that runs from October 16th to October 22nd. If you look at PAPS's website, you can find out all the information. This game is, all about momentum. It just doesn't seem like CC's just been able to find a little bit of a groove here. However, if John lets him in, there's some nice red balls around the black there.
Looks like Will Zhang has beaten Devin Chakraborty. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Will is a member here at Ox, and he beat Devin 2-0.
True, we do our best. That was a nice try there, Mike. Sometimes these players we've never even met before. We did. I arrived into town last night, and I didn't mention to everyone that I will be, in the commentary booth, and don't want to mean any disrespect. But right. Please come talk to me. Some of you might have a tricky name to pronounce. I tell you, it took me years to pronounce CC Yoo, but now it just rolls off the tongue.
It's tricky for us. Yeah, somebody who gets his name mispronounced fairly frequently. It's very funny. I always want to try to pronounce people's names.
True, we don't want to be a coffee shop. I know there's I won't name any names, don't want to single anyone out, but I know there's a pretty popular Seattle brand of coffee that is quite global, that I've noticed that people have had quite a variety of names on their cups when they take out their coffee. So this might be a great opportunity for CC here. Those reds are nicely lined up. Black's going to come back on its spot, but can't get too far ahead. Think ahead, know where you got to be, but now he's on the black. Give all your attention to that. Don't think about that other red. Yeah, that looks like that red, the top of the three. We'll go by to the top right corner, just stun it there. Stay on the black.
I like how CC doesn't hesitate to just take another look at things. Not just stand up, but take a look at where he wants the cue ball, clear his head, visualize the shot. He's very methodical and, yeah, just a very solid player.
It is true. Sometimes you can overthink a shot too much. You know, they say it's a thinking person's game, but sometimes you don't want to think too much. You just want to be mind clear, play the shot, carry on. And talking with some of the women that were here from Britain, asking them a bit. Sometimes, when you're a new player and you're getting into it, obviously we see these great players making high breaks. And a lot of the time we get into the unknown. You start making a break of over 30, over 40, over 50. This century could be close. But then you start thinking of that century, and that's the kiss of death. Maybe there, but you got to think about that ball right in front of you and take care of that business before you move on.
Yeah, 100%.
I guess that black didn't go for CC. Elected for that blue, so that red he might have just overrun the stun on that last red shot. As well, we mentioned, it was a bit nervy sometimes. They're on the table, they're playing in the tournament, and these guys are getting streamed worldwide. Hopefully they can block that out, but they are aware that sometimes they're on the TV streaming table. That might just hiccup them just a little bit. What did I say? Impressive?
Yeah.
think he's living up to it. Just some updates around the room. Joseph Aldalo is up early, 13-11 on Raymond McCarthy. They're just getting started. We have Ahmad Alasa, that you saw previously on the TV table, is in a commanding lead in the first frame, 50-4 over Charles Crouch. And here on the TV table, John Poon is up 47-25 over CC Yoo. And I think we're just waiting to get the fourth table underway. My vantage point, I see it's Dave Daly. And he's in battle. I'm not too sure exactly who's in battle, but definitely check out cloudsnooker.com for all the results, all the players in this United States Snooker Championship.
I see Jamie as the tournament director, Jamie Miller. She's helped out with several pool tournaments.
Dave will be playing Raymond Fung, I think is very active in the USSSA, as he has one of their badges there. And that is a fantastic snooker there by CC. Glued it tight to that black. So this snooker could really help CC get back in the frame. That looks a bit better for John. So not too costly for him. Now the next red is quite important because it's for certain that blue is going to go to that top right corner pocket, so you don't really want to leave on a red. CC well aware of it, playing a nice safety shot there.
William Crouch on the chat says, keep your eye on Charles Crouch. I agree. I was watching him practice. He's doing a lineup and shooting pretty well on these tight pockets. He also has a really nice temperament. Very nice guy. Very pleasant, even keel.
And he's a tall fellow.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to use the rest.
No. He can see the whole table.
Just informed, yes, Raymond Fung, who's taken on Dave Daly, is the number 2 seeded player, the USSA, and was the 2017 national champion. So lots of great ex-champions in the room, lots of wannabe champions. It's just day one of the United States National Snooker Championship, live at Ox Billiards here in the Emerald City of Seattle. David Burney's in the booth with Mike Dominguez, the owner-operator of Ox. If you want to open up a room, get in touch with Mike at Ox Billiards. He can make your dreams become reality.
Yeah, always happy to share info. Always happy to help another snooker club out. There really are no secrets these days. Everything's accessible. You can find everything on the web. But it helps to get some experience and advice on where the speed bumps that we encountered were.
A pandemic.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a speed bump. All right, here's a chance.
Chuck, you did hear that right. If you're alluding to Mike Dominguez, he will be playing in the tournament. Mike, are you going to be on the TV table?
No way.
No, we're not going to see the wonderful Oz come from behind the curtain and be on the table.
Nobody wants to see that. Take some guts to be on this table.
But CC's been on these TV tables a lot, so he's not really phased at all.
Oh, the pink got in the way. But he still has the yellow. And I think it still might go into its pocket once it's respot.
Yeah, it does look like from our vantage point it does.
Nice little bounce here.
Oh, if it goes, I think he's got a great angle to get on the green, so this is going to hurt John tremendously if CC's able to nip this frame, because takes this frame, he takes this match.
Hey, Chuck, I will definitely pot a red for you. Chuck says, good luck, Mike. Pot a red for me. Yeah, thanks for being on the stream and being an active participant on the chat. Don't be shy out there. Jump on the chat. Be like Chuck.
There are no wrong questions. Just wrong answers that we might have given. We hope our best not to do that.
It's not on purpose. We all make mistakes.
True. Only a well-trained mind is know that you can get a foul if your beard touches the cue ball.
Yes, that was awesome. I thought you were going to... So in the context of that comment, we were talking about hair. Long hair touching the cue ball, as Bex Kenna tends not to put her hair in a bun. It does hang. And I think, yeah, it's going back there. So I'll let you finish the story while I try to figure out this scoring.
No worries. Yeah, we were discussing hair, and someone on the stream had tuned in, not knowing if there's ever a hair foul. And I was able to report that once Rory McLeod, player on the Pro Tour, his beard actually touched unwanted object ball, and he was forced a foul of 4 points. So
when you were talking about Rory McLeod before you mentioned the beard, I thought you were going to bring up Paul Hunter. Paul Hunter had some locks, and
he did, yeah.
I think at that time so did Ronnie.
Yeah, I think there was a phase where, it seemed like the long hair was the thing to do. As well, Tony Knowles of yesteryear, still playing. He's playing on the senior circuit now.
Peter Ebden.
I think he's got some long locks right now. But yes, Peter Ebden. And Peter actually tied it, I believe, back in a ponytail.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So he didn't have one of those... Barrettes, yeah, I think that's what it's called.
I don't know if that's a barrette. Headband, maybe? A hair thing? as my kids used to say.
So our friend Dr. Snooker is just wondering how long this number 10 Strachan cloth lasts, and how often would you need to replace it?
Well, this is not a typical year, but we've replaced these cloths 3 times this year for various reasons. I expect this cloth to last about 10 months, maybe a year. We take good care of these. Oh, goodness. That was close to a 6-point foul. We do take care of the tables. We have great customers that respect the tables, so you don't see many burn marks, if any. And we have the number 10 Strachan on our Chinese 8-ball table, where you're playing pool and heavier balls, and the cloth is holding up nicely. Although I'm looking over there and there's an empty cup on the table. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Mike makes a good point. He's got a great club here, great contingency of members that really want the best conditions. That's kind of the tough thing sometimes, is you want to bring the game to people, but some people come from a rough part and won't give the table that respect. And so sometimes there's some players that really want the best possible conditions, but they sometimes have to realize that they might be in a club where the club is welcoming everyone to play, and they just want it. So hopefully more snooker gets going in in America and gets revitalized in Canada, that we'll see more and more probably just specific snooker clubs. So you'll know that when you come to that club, you're getting top-notch conditions. You're going to have people that are really passionate about the game and want to take care of the table. And hopefully there'll be some other clubs where, there's just the new player can come in and see if it hooks them, and they can know if they're really interested that there's some nice clubs out there to play. But it really just comes down to the owner of the room, how their passion is, because sometimes some people, their passion drops out about the game and they're just there to, unfortunately, pay the bills, make some money, whereas that's not the case down here. Mike is truly passionate about his cue sports, especially snooker, so he wants to give his players top-notch conditions, and they in turn enjoy it and give him patronage.
Yeah, my hopes are that if another snooker club opens up in the area, that they take our lead and put in some quality tables and build a culture there. And, we can use some more snooker clubs in this area. It's a big area, Seattle. And the more clubs we have, the more leagues we have, the more tournaments we have, the more players we have.
Yeah, and you're right, Dr. Snooker. There is the Strachan Superfine that has just kind of come on the circuit, and that does act like a number 10 cloth. It does have the quickness, and it does have a little bit more durability. So if you wanted to bring it maybe in a club, or not a defined snooker club, maybe a place where you're trying to gain interest, it's a good choice to go in, because it does give that professional feel, but also has the durability to withstand newcomers and people that just don't know the ins and outs of how to respect this great game.
Yeah, Strachan is a sponsor of this and the previous tournament, World Women's. And yeah, to answer your question, Dr. Snooker, before we put on this number 10, we used Superfine because there was a shortage of number 10. So we did try it out for a little bit. I like the number 10 better. We started out with number 10 over at Bay's Snooker Club. Then we put number 10 when we got to Ox. And for a little while we had Superfine. But for these tournaments, and I think whenever it's available, I would opt for number 10.
That's true. I think you make a good point. Woogie Man 007. In the past, it just seemed like in pool halls, they're called pool halls, which kind of unfortunately paints a picture of dark, smoky-filled room with shady characters at every corner. But they would have a lot of pool tables, and there would be that one snooker table in the back that no one really ventured towards because obviously it's very intimidating, very large. But I think now more and more we're trying to get away from that pool hall mentality. Great snooker there by John. Well done. Sorry to interrupt my thought there, but if we can make it more bright, more open, more family oriented, so then mom and dad, if Junior wants to go off and go to the snooker club, they'll know it's a safe environment, and it's a great game. I know the Q program in the UK, the Schools of Q Zone, I think it's called, is a tremendous success because the kids are getting out of the classroom. They're not feeling like they're really, who likes to be in a classroom. They're getting out, and then the teachers are enjoying it because the students are learning geometry, addition, and sportsmanship as well. If you make a match, you have to commit to
everything.
It. Yeah.
Really, it does. It's a great sport for kids in that respect.
So if we can make it more of a warming environment, I think that's what will help see the game grow.
And there is no gender or physiological bias in this sport. There's, women can play as good as men. They can aim as good. They can concentrate as good. They can have the same stamina, if I can say that word correctly. But there's, just women just need the access that the men have had for a long time.
It's true. It's not, a strength game.
No.
Shall we say.
And I got a good friend that plays semi-pro football, and she's a linebacker. She's been a safety, a running back, and it's full-on tackle football. She plays for the Majestics, the Seattle Majestics. But I think in that is a wonderful thing to see. Just women doing whatever sport they choose and love and have a passion for.
Definitely. People have a passion. People have a love for something. Should not hinder it at all. Isn't that what we're all trying to achieve? Just, find things that we love to do. Oh, CC come back in this frame. It's got a 3-point lead. 25 on the table. That blue has just been there hanging out by that puck for quite a while. Surprised that no one's nicked it in for an in-off or anything like that.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that blue ball to drop, but it's pretty safe.
Well, John Poon has definitely put up a good fight here. First frame got a little bit away from him, but he's committed a 4-point foul there. He's not out of it.
He was pretty close on the 2-cushion escape, but then he changed gears and went for the 1-cushion. I would have thought a minor adjustment on the 2-cushion escape may have gotten him out of it. But when he changed tactics, so close. You're kind of starting over, but that first effort is your roadmap, or your scout, as it were.
Yeah, and then you just make those little adjustments, and then you should, most times, hit it on the second time, unless it is a really well-played snooker. But yeah, you're correct, Mike. You get the lay of the land on that first shot, and minor adjustments help you hit it. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case for John. This is where it gets frustrating as well. You're just in a snooker and you committed 12 penalty points, and boom, just like that, your opponent puts you right back into a snooker.
I like him to get out of this one.
Just where is the green going to end up? And that is not looking good for John's chances to take this second frame.
So let's see if CC slows down the last remaining balls just to concentrate on closing this match out.
Not a bad idea there, using the cushion. You know, some players might just want to just tap it just so they can be on the brown, but using the cushion enables CC just to be a bit more positive and through the shot.
Yeah, less chance of deaccelerating. Oh my goodness, on the shot. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think is he fortunate? Oh no, I think he can get by the pink there to hit the brown. Just got to be mindful of that blue. Where's that brown going to end up? Okay,
It's a
he's
good
okay.
key ball. Sandro is in the building, and he's our photographer. Sandro Menzel. You can look for him on Instagram and Facebook. Takes a lot of really nice pool and snooker photos in the Seattle area. Big proponent of the Northwest Women's Pool Association. Does a lot of their tournaments. He was here last weekend.
I just wish he would shoot on film.
Yeah. He does so much. So many tournaments he takes pictures of. I can't imagine having to develop all those.
I was kind of surprised looking at the player list. I didn't see our good friend Aaron Moss.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Love Aaron.
But, you know, as it's an amateur game, maybe he's busy with some things. But if Aaron's tuning in, we wish him all the best. Maybe he can pop by sometime this weekend if he's in town.
Yeah, he signed up for the Nick Barrow class. But he is big in the pool scene as well, so perhaps there was a tournament that he was keen on.
Yeah, as much as we don't plan to put tournaments on the same day, that's good to see that there's more and more tournaments coming about, snooker and pool. So players now have the option of where they want to go. Finally, that blue is going to find a home in the bottom pocket. Let's hold up. This looks like a nice, actually, opportunity. It's a good angle to cut the pink, get on the black. Can he steal this frame? John Poon, and force us into a decider. Oh, those pockets are just that tight.
Yeah, I think CC was about to regret missing that brown ball. And I think John's already regretting missing that pink ball. But I think he might have another shot.
It's true, but he's going to have to use all real estate on the table here to get this pink into the pocket and come back down for the black.
Luckily, he's on a fast table.
Sam, we'll try and do some investigative work.
Fast.
Yeah, too fast there. We'll try to do some investigative work for you, Sam, and find out the diameter of the tip that CC's using. He's got a good cue ball. That black is, kind of in no man's land, so another black ball final in this frame. So John needs the black ball to continue the match. CC needs the black to take the match and put one frame to the good for him and his group. It's a long one, but definitely this is definitely one that CC should have. If this was a shot maybe Monday night, it'd be a bit tougher. It still was tough. It was a long one, but the result is he's safe, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, that looked like an uncharacteristic cue action by CC. He's normally very smooth, but it looked like his shoulder moved at the very last second. I don't know if he was trying to correct something at the very last moment.
Uh-oh. You'll notice, obviously, we're in the black here, but it's always good to cut the table in half. Tension just building here, building. I don't know, Captain. It could be going to decider, but it just seems like there's been a couple opportunities for CC. It feels like, he makes those shots 9 times out of 10.
Both of them. This has got to be on the side cushion. It didn't get there.
And is there a touch of an angle? Because definitely if it's straight on, it's very tough, but it looks like CC has a bit of an angle. But once again, this is 11 feet and 11 inches of shot to put it into the bottom of the pocket to win the match.
Can't say that CC hadn't gotten his chances.
Yeah.
3 opportunities, 4 if you count the brown.
Anyone's match here. Great shot there by John to pair the black to tie this match 1 frame apiece. We're going to step aside for a quick little break, and we'll be coming back for this decider. Stay tuned. And we're back here on a deciding frame here between John Poon and CC Yoo. It's a nice little cut there by CC. So let's see if we can make most of this opportunity. Got a few reds open in the middle of the table. And we apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. We just had a little glitch on our computer stream there. Hopefully, we didn't stray too far away, as we are in a great decider here. John Poon and CC Yoo. John is struck early. Yes, we're back on the airway, so remember, share it with your friends there. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch TV. Just reach out and look at Ox Billiards. So, thanks for your compassion, guys. Just sometimes, with this technology, a little bit of a hiccup happens as we're relying on the internet, and we bear with you. And good thing it's not on the final black and the final frame of the championship. It's usually sometimes for some reason we had a little bit of the incident happen at the women's event, and it happened early on in the frame. So glad that you're all back there. Cece was hoping to cannon into those reds, break them out a bit. He's got a nice cue ball there, so. Mickey, Singh, we're glad you're tuning in. Glad that you're enjoying the live stream. Feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any comments or questions, if the audio sounds a little off, the picture's a little fuzzy, please let us know, as we've got a great team behind the scenes that can tune it up. CC's hoping to return to some of his form of the first frame. So it was a battle back and forth on that black. He had his chances to take the frame. That just shows how tight these side pockets are. You just have to be extremely accurate. Yeah, looking for the top left corner pocket. That's a thin into the side. Once again, these tight pockets strike again. It just rattled in the jaws there.
Wow, what happened there? Little power outage. Thanks for everybody coming back, if you are back.
I think if there's any consolation, I believe the Space Needle lost its power for a brief second, so we're in good company. We're here at Ox Billiards in the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington, for the 2022 United States National Snooker Championship.
For the first time in Seattle, by the way. Not the last, I hope.
Yes, there's been a lot of firsts here in 2022 in Seattle, in the evergreen state of Washington. First ever ranking snooker event on U.S. soil. That was last weekend when the World's Women's Snooker U.S. Open Championship went. Our good friend Jamie Hunter was victorious over Rebecca Kenna. We've seen a lot of the familiar faces on the stream that tuned in for that event. We're glad that you're tuning in for this event, going all weekend long. Monday is when we'll find out who is the champion of the Stars and Stripes. But until then, we've got some great group action all day long today and tomorrow. And I believe on Sunday, that's when the knockout round will commence. But definitely check out cloudsnooker.com for all live scoring. You can check out the group structure there, see how your favorite players are doing. And if you have any favorite players in this match, whether it be CC or John, give them some support. I'm pretty sure they can feel all your good thoughts as you type them away in the chat room.
Mohammed Mo Ali says in the chat that the pockets look real tight. These are pro pockets. Not only are they very tight, they're pro cut, meaning it's the same rounded pocket that they use in the pro tour. And the famous Simon Barker is our table mechanic.
Sure, it is nice, Mike. You have great conditions here. Everyone that you talk to just loves the conditions, love how it's tight. It would be nice if you had a bit more obviously room. If you could have some maybe just club snooker tables and just have those pockets open just a bit more, just to encourage some of the newer players. As when you begin in this game, everybody wants to pocket balls. It isn't until a few years in the game that the devil takes over and you want to lay crafty snookers.
I totally get that. Here comes the but. But if you're going to practice on what the pros play with. I understand that it's a tougher table, so that just means you're going to have to develop other parts of your game a little bit earlier than you would potting. And I kind of feel like if you're playing basketball, the hoop is 10 feet, whether you're college or in the pros, it's 10 feet off the ground. Same dimensions. Court is the same dimensions as the pros in college. So my goal here was just to give the professional atmosphere. So it can be discouraging if development is very slow, but it also can be challenging. And so if you're up for the challenge, you want to put the time in and practice, then it is a very rewarding thing to do, to get a 30 break on these tables, get a 60 break on these tables. It can be a little bit of a bummer if you have a club table that you get 30 and 60 breaks and you're full of confidence, and then you get on the table like this and you can't make a pot.
Yeah, that's true. Jorge Mirison, 7'7" basketball player, played on the same net as Muggsy Bogues at 5'4". So, Mohammed, you can see the scoring at cloudsnooker.com. We just actually are streaming one TV table, and good to know that you're tuning in from Houston. That's some great folks there.
So lucky for everybody that's listening, I'll be starting my match fairly soon. I'll be out of the booth. You'll be on your own.
Well, that's all right. I've got a great contingent of fans on the stream that we can chat about wonderful things. Are you going to be on the TV table, Mike?
No, sir. I built the room for others, not for me. I'm still in the frustration mode, or of my development, I guess. Yeah, it's amazing how being a club owner does not allow you time to practice.
True, and I think you are as well a little bit of everything here, which is quite impressive. You know, the room owner, you're doing some great scorekeeping, some commentary, also kind of playing a little bit as tournament director, making sure everything moves along swiftly, and you're also playing it. So hats off to you. I don't know how you do it.
The snooker suffers. So the live scoring link has just been placed in the chat. You can go to Cloud Snooker and take a look at the player schedule. You can take a look at the groups, which player is in what group. And then there's a big old button that says live scoring, and that'll take you to where that link takes you.
Yeah, it's going to be really tricky as there's, you know, these reds are starting to get close to the top end of the table. But this red to the left side of the table is on for CC. Unlucky. Wow. Just rattled in the jaws and didn't drop. Amazing how this game can sometimes just turn on a head. And
there are no easy shots in snooker. Not one shot can be taken for granted. When I watch the pros, it's just so amazing. It looks like they take shots for granted, but I'm pretty sure they don't. Just knowing how difficult this game is and to watch the pros play, it's just crazy, uncanny.
just seen that last shot of CC Yoo. Oh, great long pot there by John. But sometimes that's not a bad shot. CC played last. You know, just push that red by the pocket, but put your cue ball deep and kind of tempt your opponent. Because sometimes they might look at a shot and in their wheelhouse, it's maybe a 70, 60% shot, maybe even high 50s. And they're like, well, you know, feeling kind of lucky, and you're kind of unfortunate because it's not a high percentage shot. But John proved us wrong by nailing in that long pot.
Might get good shape on this black ball. Oh, a little bit thin on that red.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's the pressure of the TV table as we talked to Ali a little bit, Alisaid, in the kind of freezing stage of this match. But he won his second match quite commanding, 2-0. And he was just mentioning, don't put me on the stream table, it's bad luck. And CC, a well-accomplished players, going the distance here with John. And at first glance, it felt like CC was the better player. He's got a good history, not knowing where John's from or what his background is. He's kind of pulled back in it. Fortunately, that red came off the cushion, just hamper him on that red that's above the black to the top right corner.
Yeah, John in this match and Jackie in the previous match are two unknown players that are, to us, I'm sure they're well known where they're from, but unknown players to us are doing quite well.
Nice shot there by CC. Always difficult to cue over a ball, kind of coming down on the cue ball. You don't want to put any unwanted siding.
Bridging over that black ball had to have been an issue for him. Christian's walking out of the office. Good luck there, Christian. Good luck. Christian's putting on his Ox Billiards patch and his snazzy vest. I wish he was on the TV table. He's looking sharp.
Spot there by CC. A rather shot to nothing there. As you can see, he's back in bulk. If he didn't make the pot, he would have left his opponent in a tough position. But made the red, and now probably can just gonna tap off this yellow. As his opponent just makes sure he's keeping that at least a toe touching the floor. A complete legal shot. I've yet to hear of a snooker player that increased their shoe just so they could have some extra leanway when they're doing the tippy toe shot. But then they might be flopping around. It might be a bit uncomfortable.
They have extensions for cues.
You don't have an extension for shoes?
They don't have extensions for shoes.
Good hit there by John. The only unfortunate part is this red, I believe, is a position that is going to go by these two reds into the top left corner pocket. If he just runs through ever so gently, he'll be on the black to the opposite.
Yeah, if he's trying to play safe, that pink ball is in the way, but it looks like he's looking at the pot. Whatever you decide, do it while standing up, and while down, just shoot it. Nice path. But the red is that red on?
Green might come up to his rescue there, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, clever shot there by CC. It was a 28-24 advantage in this deciding frame. 51 points on the table.
That was good to avoid the knuckle. Does it have length? Nope.
Don't think John's is lucky. This cue ball does go by the green. The brown will pass the yellow. So good angle to come back down for that open red on the left side of the table. Come off a cushion. Good angle as well to stun for the black.
Yikes.
That's why this game is just that difficult.
Yeah, man.
Pinpoint accuracy you need.
Just get the cue a little bit lower on that cue ball and he would have been fine. Or maybe not so hard. Either way, he's got to find a good safety behind the yellow and the brown. How about the blue and the brown? That'll do.
He's got a little bit of space from that bulk cushion if he did want to try a swerve, but that's pretty dangerous. You'll see more often than not a snooker player will use the cushion. A big swerve, and this is going to be costly.
Oh, good. Yeah, when the object ball is close to the block ball, I think it's pretty safe to say it's going back.
Yeah, I wonder if you think about going the other side of the table. Maybe have a look at that. So if you go on the right side of the table, if you don't go far enough, that black is in play as we just saw. Whereas if you go the left side,
both players agree to where the balls are, but I think the black ball should have been up a little bit off the cushion. No matter at this point.
third and final attempt here for John.
Yeah, he took your advice. Going on the left side.
Still not enough. So
yeah, John in the chat asks, could CC make John shoot? Yes. Or could he?
he could have, because he is fouled after that. He's missed it. So on any...
Not putting him back. So that was his third try.
And always the result of the foul shot is you can take a shot or you can get your opponent to take the shot from that position. He couldn't go back to the original position at the foul and the miss. So, but then CC proves us wrong by coming back with a beautiful snooker here. Oh, that was a nice shot there by John to get out of it. Only parties left on that red as a sitter, so...
Yeah, the only reason why the only reason why I was unclear on that is there are differing rules on foul and a miss among the amateur ranks, and for this tournament it's 2 putbacks, 3 attempts. If on the third attempt, being a valid attempt, the person snookers an invalid snooker, then the whole cycle starts again. They can be put back twice again. And in our Washington State Snooker League, that's not the case. We don't, we have more amateurs, more beginners in that league. And so we have to find that balance of, is this too hard for them to get out of snookers? Is it not fair to the person that snookered them? Is it honoring the game?
Yes, the tough balancing act of what to do, because you don't want to discourage too many people. You're happy that they're picking up a cue and coming in and enjoying the game. And does that have the pace? Ooh, where's that great big earthquake of the West Coast? CC was hoping for it there. But John does need snooker to win. He should be able to come off the side cushion and flick it to the screen. Yeah, John, I don't know if you're turning in earlier, but some people were mentioning about the foul and miss, and it's a thing that I think is always going to be debated. Because I believe way back they brought in the foul and the miss because the professional players were actually deliberately missing. Yes, Sam, there are some women in the tournament. I know Frances Chow that plays from Ox.
Off the top of my head, I believe she's the only woman player. She's a pool player, loves straight pool, loves one pocket, 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball. And she was on the snooker table one day. We had a match. And now she loves snooker. And of course stays with pool. As all disciplines help you get better.
Yeah, I was hoping to maybe see young Marissa Dew in this tournament, but maybe the women's event took a lot out of her. And maybe she actually just got to get ready for school on
school
Wednesday.
Started around here. And yeah, that would be too much to ask. Take that Friday off. But I believe the teachers are going to strike. I don't know, maybe. But Marissa is an up-and-coming snooker player. She came a fluke away from getting into the money, or into the final 8 at the World Women's. But flukes are part of the game.
Yep. I'd say both players get them from time to time. Both players have to play with the same balls, the same table, so same conditions.
This looks good. Oh,
Just a bit pacey.
fix the scores, please. I think I'm...
TK, we're not sure what you're referring to.
Maybe that was a while ago.
It's possible there was a little hiccup there, obviously, we had with our scoring bug, but these are up to date. There's the actual score line. On other scores, you can check out Cloud Snooker.
So the Samuel, wow, nice. Samuel in the chat, is that the Samuel that went to Sheffield with you?
That is correct.
Nice. A
very, very funny man.
Yeah, he was. Or is. He was back then too. Dr. Snooker in the chat says, shot. Yes. That was a great shot. on the green. Now I think score is not correct.
Very nice shot there. Tap on the table. There's handshakes there. So CC Yoo takes this one 2 frames to 1. So that puts a frame into the good for his round robin stage. And we will step aside for a short little break. Remember to come back and tune in as we will have another match straight from Ox Billiards in Seattle, Washington. This is the 2022 United States National Snooker Championship. Stand by, everybody. We'll see you in a few moments.